And if I open this, I'm officially LaCroix boy.
That's where your power comes from.
Books!
Do you not want to put the LaCroix on display behind you? There it is.
We're sponsored now.
This episode brought to you by LaCroix. Or La Croix, if you're fancy.
It is French Day. Alright, this is happening. I don't know, this is a new microphone. If it picks up chips, I'd actually be really thrilled. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brian's Book Bastion. Last week I actually said the wrong episode. If you noticed the edit, it was pretty subtle. This is now episode, but this is episode 23, right?
Yes.
Yes. That means it's officially our Michael Jordan episode, and it's going to be the best one yet. We're going to finally do the impossible and follow through with a short and sweet episode. I've seen a lot of booktubers condense their book reviews into 4 or 5 minutes. We'll see if we're there. And this book is short and sweet. Well, maybe more short and psychotic. But all the same, it's going to be a quick one. I don't want to spoil too much with this book because you can honestly read it in a few hours, and the structure is so perfectly built that all of the momentum continues to carry forward for both of the two parts. I hadn't heard about this book until Jamie and I were at Barnes & Noble a few years back and ended up seeing a graphic novel version of this, and it made me realize that this was actually...
It's behind you, the other side.
It's behind me.
No.
The other side. Oh, it's right there. But obviously if it got that treatment, it was somewhat of a classic. I chose to go the text route here, and I'm honestly glad I did. It starts out with a very famous line in literature with "Mama died today."
Possibly. Yesterday.
Or yesterday, maybe.
I think that quote is different on my mug.
Translation error. Honestly, it might be a translation problem there. At the beginning of this book, it specifically had a note from the translator that talked about that first line and how it's different in a lot of editions. And that ties into a previous episode of Brian's Book Bastion in which we talked about translated texts. Depending on who does the translation, the novel could end up being completely different, and in this case, the translator took the liberty to say, "Mama died today." If you get the Matthew Ward edition, I'll let you read that for yourself. Matthew Ward's probably at home like, yes?
That should not be the need.
But that all leads into this main character Morceau, and obviously his mother dying, and we get to see how he processes that. Or how he really doesn't. He comes into town to attend his mother's wake, and you start to realize that he's not really taking anything too hard. He goes to the wake, smokes some cigarettes, drinks some coffee, falls asleep, and the next day when they're walking the casket to the burial ground, he actually is more concerned with the heat of the sun than he is with the fact that his mother actually passed away. Putting aside the rest of the details from that, he ends up going home and again, not really processing the fact that his mother just died. He goes and finds this new gal that he starts to hook up with. He goes swimming in the ocean. He sees a comedy in the theaters. It doesn't really seem like it's a person that's grieving too hardly. Hardly? Hardcore is what we were looking for. Thus begins a series of events that eventually leads Morceau to a beach. Again, you see references to the heat of the sun and a lot of these references of things that are annoying only in the present moment, not any reflection on the past or the future. And this ends up leading Morceau into a very serious problem. Thus the climax of part 1. Part 2 starts to get a little bit more philosophical, and you get to dive a little bit deeper into Morceau and see again this tendency to feel very neutral feelings about the universe and about anything that's happening with him. He doesn't think that anything really matters. And it leads to a lot of inner dialogue with Morceau where he starts to ponder about the universe and kind of think about what it means to exist.
What does it mean to exist?
What does it mean to exist?
Do you know?
It gets answered in here.
No, it doesn't.
It actually doesn't. I will say one of the brilliant things in the second part is the recall of a lot of events that happened in the first, and it keeps bringing you these moments where you're thinking, oh my god, like that was actually a way bigger deal than it was made out to be, and it just keeps happening over and over and over. I don't want to say why any of those past events have any significance. I think it's definitely worth reading, and again, because it's so short, you can get it done within an afternoon or so.
Or you could get the graphic novel.
And read it in an hour.
Yeah.
But The Stranger really explores a lot of ideas of existentialism, which if you're into philosophy and you're into philosophy-themed novels, this is definitely a great one to get into. And that's all we're getting into today. I kept the spoilers to a minimum because I think that this is, again, a really well-crafted book. I think that a lot of what's written here isn't fat per se. It's not anything that could have been excluded. I think everything that was in this novel absolutely needed to be there, and it just ends at that point. There's no fluff, it's not too lean, it is just exactly what needs to be in this novel. And Matthew Ward did a great job. Yes. I hope that was short and psychotic enough for you, and I hope you check out the rest of the videos for the rest of the year, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to check out the translated text episode. I think it's episode 5, and I hope you continue to follow along this journey with us. Don't be a stranger. Leave a comment below, and I hate myself.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Leave a comment below, and I'll see you next week for the next video. Exit music.